guys, it's Jessii Vee, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the most disturbing things that people have done to their Sims. Now, I have done 2 Sims videos in the past, and you guys have loved those ones, so I thought, why not do another one a couple years later? And I do have something to admit. I'm literally in pajamas right now. I'm gonna show you. This is my pajama top. You can see my pajama bottoms right here, and I'm just so comfortable, so no regrets at all. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that we have restocked our Mystery Galaxy Ball necklaces. These are the most requested item in our shop ever. In the history of ever. Aside from our light up aliens, of course, which we do have in stock as well. But it's so cool because these Mystery Galaxy Ball necklaces, we have like I think 20 different styles of them. So when you order one, you don't know what galaxy you're getting inside your necklace. It's so cool. It looks like 3D. It's literally a globe. So if you guys would like one, I have linked it down below. Another really popular item that we do have back in stock is our Mood slime. So it's literally a slime that you get, and while you're playing with it, it changes color to your mood, which I think is so cool. I used to love mood rings and stuff, so this slime is literally a mood ring. So if you'd like any of these awesome restocked popular items, I have linked them down below for you. Alright guys, so let's get right into today's video talking about the most disturbing things that people have done to their Sims. This first story is called The Funeral. By now, everyone knows about how a Sim can die in the pool. It's a classic trick that is definitely cruel, but most people admit to doing it at least once. You would simply get your Sim to go for a swim, delete the ladder, and then they aren't able to exit the pool. Well, this one player did this to one of their Sims, but then he took it a step further. He held a funeral for them, but instead of having the families and friends arrive in all black like you usually do for a funeral, they were forced to dress in swimwear to wave off the dearly departed, which is pretty sick considering their family member drowned in the pool and then they're arriving in swim gear. Like some people were literally in scuba outfits, so a little bit messed up. The next story is called Immortality Potion. This player admitted to doing something pretty messed up with his Sim. He said that he would find old ladies, flirt with them, get them to leave their husband, marry them, and take over their house and money. And then he would lock them in a room until they starved to death. And then he would just do it over and over and over again. I mean, I guess it's good he's not doing this in the real world. Maybe he's getting it all out in the Sims game, but my goodness. And if this wasn't twisted enough, he was spending all of his money on immortality potions. This means he would live forever and make his way through the entire population of old ladies in this game. I didn't even know there was potions in The Sims, but I've also never played it. Why is this turning into Harry Potter? Okay, the next story is called The Forbidden Pizza. It's a well-known fact that Sims love their pizza just like many of us do, and this one player had a Sims named Cassandra who just desperately wanted to order a pizza, but every time she would pick up the phone to call, the player would quickly cancel her order. So it was like this endless thing where she was trying to get pizza and they kept canceling it, which is really, really mean. Eventually, they caved and let Cassandra order a pizza and placed it on a big wooden table beside the pool. And I'm sure you can guess where I'm going with this, unfortunately. The player trapped her inside the pool. It was a shallow pool, so she wasn't able to drown, but she couldn't get out for some reason. And she starved to death while staring at the pizza that was only like a foot away from her. That's awful. I feel personally connected to this story because I love pizza. Then we have a story called The Gnomes. This player created a Sim that was obsessed with crafting garden gnomes, and they were very, very good at it. Their whole front lawn became filled with them. This player would invite all of the neighbors over to come and look at all of the gnomes, and then he would find creative ways to off them, creating this whole plot of tombstones among the gnomes. So neighbors would come to see the gnomes, and then the player would just, When they ran out of room, they knocked most of the house down to create more property, and then built a smaller one filled up with urns from the neighbors that they got rid of. Meanwhile, the player's Sim continued to create his gnomes until every inch of the lawn was covered, and then one day, the Sim snapped and started sobbing uncontrollably at their collection. They ran outside and then destroyed all of the gnomes, and then the Sim refused to make a single gnome after that. The player said he basically drove his Sim mad, which is crazy. Then we have a story called Dog to Human. So I guess there was a Sims expansion where everything is suddenly magical magical, and while Sims were able to practice generic spells, this expansion also gave the ability to turn pets into full-blown human members of the family. This one player had a family with a dog named AJ, and apparently this dog was absolutely wonderful. He brought joy to the entire family. He always listened. He was so great. So this family wanted their dog to join the realm of humans. But once they completed the spell, the human version of AJ was apparently awful to them. He was abusive. He was angry at them all the time. He was acting out. So they just couldn't take it anymore. They did not like the human version of their dog. So they built him a tomb, trapped him inside where he perished. And what's so awful is that this family went and bought a new dog and played with it in front of AJ's tomb. Well, all of a sudden a dragon flew down and burned down their house, killing all of them. So that was a strange turn of events. Then we have the painting goblin. Now this is also a classic one. The way it works is that you create a family and assign one member the role of being the painting goblin. The idea is that this character likes to be alone, loves art, and has an aversion to the outdoors. So as the rest of the family go about their regular lives, the painting goblin is trapped in this green room in the basement with all of the basic necessities like a fridge, a bed, a toilet, but they are forced to paint on a continuous basis. This painting goblin is pretty good at paintings and earns good money from their work, and the household becomes rich off the artwork but never knows about the secret family member imprisoned in the basement. So yeah, that's super awful and super creepy to me. This next story is called The Maze. This player created a giant 2-story house that was basically all an intricate maze. On the bottom floor was a single fridge, and on the top floor there was a single toilet. And the player would watch as the clock ticked by, and it took their sim 48 hours of in-world time to make their way up to the toilet. Imagine having to wait 2 days to go to the bathroom, and then if they wanted to eat, they would have to travel another 48 hours through the maze to get down to the fridge. That is so mean. You're basically turning your sims into like a hamster. Okay, and then lastly we have someone called Bob, and this is not about what a player did to a sim, but instead what a sim did to a player. This one player built their dream house and created this wonderful family to live inside of it, and apparently when you move, neighbors from other blocks will come over to greet you. And what was so creepy is that as he was playing, he suddenly noticed that one of these neighbors had just like wandered into his house. It was a bald man in a green shirt named Bob, and Bob made a beeline for the kitchen, started a fire, and then calmly walked away with no emotion, leaving this player's family screaming and freaking out in the kitchen. The mother and father both died in the blaze, and the children were taken away by social services because their parents perished in the fire, which is awful. What's so strange is that every time this player created a new neighborhood, Bob would respawn. The player has tried to get rid of him in every single way possible, trapping him, starving him, drowning him, but he always comes back. He's even had him abducted by aliens and struck by lightning, but Bob respawns. So yeah, I just thought that was super creepy. If you guys want to own up to something kind of awful you've done to your Sims, comment it down below. And if you would like me to continue doing videos on The Sims, give this video a thumbs up and let me know. But don't forget, if you would like a mystery galaxy ball necklace or the Mood Mud slime, I have linked it down below. But I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!